Welcome, everybody. Ironically, today is Veterans Day while recording this. And, you just went through the lecture on emotional intelligence. And, I teach emotional intelligence. There's different frameworks you can utilize. Um, but I wanted us to answer this discussion post. And, the background of this is we have the VA administration, right? They're one of the largest U.S. agencies. They have over 400,000 employees serving veterans nationwide. Their mission is rooted in care, compassion, service, but they are challenged oftentimes by burnout and bureaucracy. Emotional intelligence is critical for trust, morale, and the quality of care. When we look at emotional intelligence in action, there's several things that kind of come into mind. Self-awareness. Leaders who acknowledge the emotional strain rebuild credibility. Self-regulation. Calm, transparent communication prevents public mistrust. Empathy. Frontline staff show a deep compassion for veterans coping with trauma. Motivation. Connecting the daily work to the mission of honoring service. And social skills is strong communications across teams, reducing conflicts and delays. We talked about the frameworks of change management methodology, the ADKAR model and the Cotter model. The takeaway, you know, regardless of how you view politics or anything like that, the emotional intelligence of the Veterans Administration has changed in the last 20 years. You got to think before the Desert Storm, our last major conflict, and I'm talking about major conflict, was Vietnam, right? We didn't really have a plan in place, and the VA was really a terrible system back then. I would even kind of argue that it's not the best it can be, but it's about continuous improvement, and the VA is doing that. You look at President Obama's administration and where the VA had changed, and then you look at where the VA is now, and we're a lot more technological, there's a lot more compassion, and there's a lot more staff at the desk to handle the overwhelming amount of veterans that were guaranteed medical services through the Department of Veterans Affairs. Emotional intelligence transforms bureaucracy into compassion, restoring trust both employees and the veterans they help with. Now, the discussion question this week is I want you to answer is the Department of Veteran Affairs faces high emotional demands, burnout, and bureaucracy pressure. How can emotional intelligence, leadership rebuild trust, motivation, and compassion across such large organizations? Go ahead and post that and please respond to at least two of your colleagues. I thank you guys, and those of you that are veterans and are going through this system, be an advocate for your mental health, be an advocate for your health. Thank you guys so much for your service, and I appreciate what you do for this fine country. The rest of you guys, I appreciate you too. I appreciate you coming to work and being a part of this program. Through the last weeks, we have learned a tremendous amount about a lot of things in organizational performance and strategy, and emotional intelligence is at the forefront because as leaders, if you can't be emotionally intelligent, you're not going to be a good leader.